and Mike bring you into their world. It's not just chickens and the Angus herd. So take off your boots, relax, and go beyond the ranch.
Well, that was a nice little look at the webcam out the window. I didn't mean to do that, but very beautiful day here in Northeast Wyoming. Thank you, and welcome back to Beyond the Ranch. My name is Mike.
I'm Erin.
And today I did the unthinkable. I filmed a whole video not wearing a cowboy hat, just wearing a ball cap. I know, right? It's going to cause all kinds of controversy and emails and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Was it at least one of our hats?
It was an Wyoming Life hat, so that's a good thing. We started filming and I just forgot about it. And I was just like, okay then, this is what we're doing. So no cowboy hat, just a ball cap, and I just remembered I forgot to record an intro. So I'm going to figure out that as well. So welcome guys, and thanks for joining us here on Beyond the Ranch. This is our chance to kind of sit back with you guys every couple weeks and talk about what's going on around the ranch that you may not see in videos. We also get a chance to answer questions, hang out with some good friends, including our moderators, Matt Fensel, Zach Hewitt, William Dunn is here, Bill the Tractor Man, and Lori Habel. Is Jeff still a moderator? You haven't bumped him out yet, right? Jeff Lake will probably be stopping in at some point.
Hardly worth the effort.
It's hardly worth the effort.
He was there. I saw him.
Was he up there?
Yeah.
Some good friends also coming and hanging out with us. Some old timers that have been here a long time. Carrie Sherrado, Ranther, Val, of course, Feathered Life, and Russ, along with a whole bunch of others. Thank you for coming back, guys. And of course, new people here. If this is your first time here, be sure to say hi and let us know. Lots of lurkers in the background, though. We do get a lot of emails where somebody says, I watch all the live streams, but I never say a word. So that's totally fine, too, because if you watch live streams, would you be active in the comments, or would you just kind of be like hanging out and just kind of
literally
sit in
in
the
all
background?
the social media content that I watch, which is I don't watch TV, I watch social media.
Right.
A little bit at nighttime. I think I comment maybe half a dozen times a year.
Really? And
it's just not worth it.
when you do comment, what do you say?
I'm so mean.
Are you really?
No, absolutely not.
I had a moment there. I was like, oh my gosh, you're that person. You're that guy.
No, those people comment every 6 times an hour.
That's very true. No, when you do comment, what do you say?
I just like to encourage people on social media.
Say, way to go, or,
Yeah.
You rock, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, people in social media need that, so thank you for doing that your 6 to 8 times a year. To other channels.
I'm really benefiting the social media karma.
It's all good. It's all good. Carrie B, by the way, if you notice her in here, that is, I was going to call her Ranch Hand Carrie, but I don't know if I can do that. I think Jeff has that copyrighted. But that is Carrie that works here.
She's
on the
our
channel.
operations manager.
Right. You if you've ever sent us an email or anything like that, you probably end up dealing with Carrie 9 times out of 10. So.
And she's going to be here at 6 tomorrow morning to help me put landscape fabric down in a garden. She has a diversified job description.
She does a little bit of everything. That is for sure. If you do have questions, feel free to just shout them out. We'll try to answer as many questions we can in the next hour and tell you guys what you need to know. I did see people were already asking about an Ethel and Bambi update. Unfortunately, there really is no update. We're still waiting for Bambi to have her calf. She still looks pregnant. We're still waiting for Ethel to do her thing. I did do the math today, and she does have until the end of the month, right?
Ethel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that 14 months? Because she's
pregnant.
She's pregnant, and she's lactating and doing all the pregnant things. But we're just waiting for her to download, basically, at this point. Erin keeps on telling her, release the hostage. Let it go.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know. I mean, as soon as we have healthy animals on the ground, we'll let you guys know. We're not trying to keep it from you. No. Ethel was in the goat pen today. We've been doing not daily, but we've been trying to put her every day out into the petting zoo so she can have a little walk and some green grass. And then today she went back to the goat pen. I think she was less than impressed that I put her back in the goat pen, but she it needs to not just hang out with the emus.
Yeah, yeah.
Did anybody
do you
let
think the emus like pick on her or anything? I don't really ever see them together. I've seen them play a few times. They've ran, I'll see them chasing each other around and stuff like that. But Ethel has very, very sporadic spurts of energy.
Did anybody let the emus back out of the barn?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, when she's in there with the emus, she's pretty much just kind of off on her own, and kind of doing her own thing. But
when will Jenny get pregnant? Well, birds lay eggs. Jared,
they don't get pregnant?
No.
Weird.
So, if she deems that she likes Forrest,
so there is a chance that she will not mate with Forrest.
Yeah.
Because they choose who they want to mate with, which makes sense, right?
So fertile breeding season for emus is like January through March, April, something like that. So yeah, and they'll be mature next year.
She'll lay eggs anyway, right?
No.
Kind of like chicken. No, she won't lay eggs at all. Unless they're fertilized, she won't lay an egg.
Well, unless she decides she wants to lay an egg.
That's not an answer.
I think they have to. I don't know if they're always 100% guaranteed. I mean, Forrest still has to do his job.
Right, but like chickens lay eggs without being fertilized.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. Do emus just lay eggs that could be unfertilized?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll let you guys know.
It's not like you can candle them.
No, you couldn't. Maybe with a blowtorch.
You have to put them in the incubator. Lifespan of emus is like 40 years.
Yeah.
Long time.
Longer than me at this point. No, Ethel and Bambi did not have babies yet. When they do, we will be sure to let you guys know. So make sure you subscribe to the Wyoming Life channel so that you know when they do have babies. But no babies yet. We're still waiting on Bambi and number 80 to have their calves. Today was actually the beginning of breeding season for the new heifers. Tomorrow's video will introduce you to our new bull, and what all we had to do to get him ready, and what we had to do to the heifers to get them ready so that they could go out and for breeding season. They moved down to the heifer pasture where they're going to hopefully do their thing, and they've got a couple months to do it, and then they're cut off. So
how long are we going to do this for?
Do what for?
Breeding season.
Well, that's what I just said, a couple months, unless you want to stretch it out a little bit longer. But, your breeding season is in direct correlation to your calving season.
I know, but I'm
so
scared
you
to
want
have
to calve for
so
3
many.
months,
I mean, that's what we do.
just calve forever. Just keep calving.
Not forever.
As long as possible.
I don't know. We'll discuss later.
We'll discuss
You
that.
guys need a white bowl to spice it up a little. Nah, probably not.
No, it would be cool. I had a conversation with Dave, who delivered our new bull, about getting a Hereford bull at some point to get some faces, white faces and stuff coming back into the herd, because we are. First of all, we had no red calves this year.
Well, there's still 2 left.
There's still 2, but up to this point, no red calves.
And only 2 baldies.
Yeah,
And they're both
baldies.
bulls.
Yeah, so it would be nice to get some white faced cows into the herd again.
I know, but we've had such bad luck with Hereford bulls.
I know, it's not a whole thing. So
Will the emus get a pen pasture at some point? Yeah.
Yes. That's
They
coming
have
up.
like a lot of the cow corral right now. Like, you guys probably haven't seen it, but like we let them into, like, they've got a pretty, like, they don't have acreage yet, but they're going to get some acreage here soon. But like they've got way more room to run now than they did like over the winter and stuff. And they've been real spicy lately and not coming in at nighttime.
Yeah, they want to stay out all night.
Jenny
long.
was zooming last night.
Did not want to come in.
I like looked at her for about 3 seconds and I was like, yeah, I ain't getting you in.
I saw a question about what you're harvesting from the gardens these days. What have you been working on?
Oh, tons of stuff. Lots of lettuce, arugula, spinach, radishes, scallions, cabbages, Napa cabbage, kohlrabi. Lots of the turnips got harvested. We're done with 1 round of bok choy. More bok choys in the ground. Cilantro, rhubarb. Lots of herbs.
Where are you harvesting? You're getting rhubarb from across the road already?
Both places.
Really? Wow.
I have 4 rhubarb patches now.
Wow.
You didn't even know about all those, did you?
I did not know. Where are the other ones?
In the asparagus bed.
Oh.
Asparagus. We're almost done with asparagus. We got like another week of asparagus harvest, and then that's done for the year. What else? Kale, kohlrabi. I already said kohlrabi. Rainbow chard. Collards. What else is in there?
If you follow us on Facebook, last week, Erin posted a picture of the farm store.
Yeah.
And like, for this early in the season, I mean, you've got tons of stuff that's in the farm store now.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yeah.
And I've been, having Carrie here year round has just been so helpful. And I have a farm hand for my nonprofit too, but we just keep planting, and timing's just working out really well, and we're not having, I'm hoping we're not, we'll have a little bit of, I need to get more spinach in the ground, and we have little gaps and stuff here, but I usually hit this big dead patch in July where it's we've got nothing. But I am working really hard to make sure that doesn't happen, and just really utilize that space in that spring high tunnel. And I'm going to try and use that space as much as possible this summer too, rather than let it just sit empty. So, yeah, it's been really good. It's been a really, really good year so far. Now we just I've got one more garden to plant, which we're not the worst shape ever, but tomorrow it's going to get done. And yeah, now it's just weeding season. Lots of weeds.
Weeding season. Question from Nola, just wondering, due to unforeseen circumstances this week, maybe it'd be easier to tag the heifers in the right ear and bulls in the left ear. We've kind of talked about doing that before, and it always just kind of falls apart about halfway through, 2 or 3 calves in. There's other ways to tell who are the boys and who are the girls. So the problem was with the 2 that actually ended up in the feedlot that we banded this week was the fact that they were born after branding. And I think that was so... and it was just a mental lapse on our part. We knew who the steers were, obviously, because they ended up in the feedlot. But because they were born after branding, they didn't get banded at branding. So we just need to be better about when...
Did they even get branded?
That's a darn good question. I guess
Probably
I didn't even
not.
think about that. Yeah, they probably didn't even get branded. So we need to make sure that anything that's born after branding, we make sure we take a double look at and make sure what's going on with it and all the things are done that are supposed to be done, because we do run them through again. We precondition.
Yeah.
We do all that. We worked on them, 2 or 3 times at least. We weighed them probably 4 or 5 times.
You've poured them.
We've
done all the things.
We've worked all the things. We just, nobody ever thought to look and see if there was any dangly bits. And actually, to tell you the truth, Christy Dunham, who you guys have seen here in live streams, she was staying at the Airbnb, and she's the one that texted Erin and said, "Hey, these 2 steers over here have a little bit of extra equipment."
Maybe you guys should look a little more, you and Jeff. Maybe when you're feeding them, maybe you need to
maybe
look.
take a look. Well, now we don't, because now we know we're good. So all we have to do is invite Christy back every once in a while just to go out and take a look at things, which says all kinds of weird things about her. But you gotta have a hobby.
I thanked her for looking at the balls. Yeah. She said they were pretty obvious.
Well, and actually, as soon as she said something, I went over to look, and it was very obvious. Oh wow, okay, but moving on. We just dealt with it.
Yeah.
And move forward. Luckily, because they were born after branding, they're smaller steers, so they won't be entering into the B team for quite a while. So we got plenty of time for this problem to fix itself over time. So
That'll be fine.
yeah. So, Seminole bull, it'll be pretty cool. I don't know. It's just, our new bull is a Black Angus. He's registered Black Angus. His name is Max. You'll get a chance to meet him tomorrow. Good looking 1,200-pound bull that definitely
he's
ready to get to work.
He's 18 months, so he's a little bit older than the heifers. He was a fall calf, but he looks great, and he's pretty chill.
Yeah, he's pretty mellow. We actually, you'll see this in tomorrow's video, but we branded him today. We branded him to us, and he didn't care.
No, he's super chill.
He was just what are you doing back there?
Yeah.
He kind of jumped in the beginning, but once he figured out what was going on, he was just just get it over with, and we'll move on. Alex asked, what's Erin drinking this evening? I saw that a couple times go by.
Truly wild berry vodka and soda water.
There you go.
It's kind of my go-to these days.
Is it? That's your
Quick and
go-to.
easy.
Very quick, very easy. After Farms asked if you missed anything good. Yeah, you missed everything. I mean, they were basically done at this point. So, no.
You didn't talk about the rain at all in the video.
I have not.
Is
I think we
rentable
do.
a thing? Not really. Some parts of the country you can rent bulls, not so much here.
Is what a thing?
Rentable.
Oh, rentable. We could start that business.
We don't breed bulls.
No, we don't. We actually ended up getting our bull out of Missouri, and it kind of just fell on our lap. But I was looking around here for bulls, and yes, I called Brian, Sonny, and he didn't have any bulls available. We ended up, just a friend of ours that lives down in Missouri said, hey, I've got access to this heifer bull if you guys need it, and I'm coming up there anyway, so came on up and dropped it off.
Yeah, we kind of had some indecisiveness about what we were gonna do for breeding, and so we were kind of late to the bull purchasing.
Yeah, we went back and forth thinking about AI. We had to see if there was somebody that could AI, which apparently there's not around here. But then we ended up going back to the bull route, so a little bit of indecisiveness.
Yeah, we should have bought one like way earlier.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, we probably would have spent more than we did, though.
Yeah.
So we did pretty good price-wise, I think, anyway.
Well, we'll see how many end up bred.
All of them.
That's not going to happen.
Well,
They won't all end up bred. That's not how it works.
I hope they are. That's all I got to say.
Yes, he was semen tested.
Yes, he was semen tested. He came out, I think it was either 95 or 98th percentile, so he's doing really good. Just between you guys, you'll find out tomorrow, but he had a low birth weight. He about a 75-pound birth weight.
It'll be interesting to see how many 80-pound calves we still have.
Yeah.
Because female genetics play a role in calf size.
Role in that whole thing. Also, his yearling weight, we'll start with his weaning weight is 50 pounds above average, and he has like an 80% chance of passing that on. And then his yearling weight was like 95 pounds over average, and it was like a 92% chance of passing that on. So
that's great.
The EPDs and the genetics, really kind of interesting stuff. I don't know enough about it to really kind of get in depth with it, but I know just enough to get myself in trouble. So those are the three major things that we're looking at, but there's also maternal genetics and all kinds of other stuff that's mixed in there, carcass weights and all kinds of crazy stuff. So once you get into all that.
LOL and due for staying, this will probably be Doof's last year.
Right. This will probably be this. And I talked about it in the last video when we were talking about bulls, but this breeding season is going to be slightly confusing and a little bit different and difficult, because we're going to have each bull is going to have his own group of cows that he's going to be taking care of. Two cool things about that is we know who everybody's dad is, and their moms, obviously, because the mom's the one they come out of, right? So, but we'll know who everybody's dad is as well. You know, in the past, when we have a larger herd size, you put 3 bulls in with 75 cows, and you get what you get, and you don't know whose is whose, and you'd have to go on, Jerry Springer or Maury, and do the whole DNA testing. But now this year, we're going to have 3 different breeding groups.
Well, we know this year, all the calves born this year, we know who they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because Doof's daughters are here, we have to have 3 different breeding areas, and so that's why Doof has to leave. So keeping back heifers makes it hard to keep bulls, right? So we keep them for much shorter term than we typically would. And so they're just which cost us money, right?
Yeah.
Bulls are expensive. We don't get to keep them. 2 to 3 years is about all we can keep them, because then they just end up with too many daughters on the ranch, and then there's just nowhere for them to be able to breed as cows age out. So eventually, another year or so into this, I think we're going to have to just not breed heifers and finish out all of our heifers and take a year off so that we can extend some bull longevity and maybe purchase some bred heifers or some heifer calves. It's kind of tricky just trying to, and 3 breeding areas is kind of tricky too, because bulls don't like to stay in fences.
Yeah, so we have to figure out how to leave a pasture in between each breeding group.
Yeah. Which is going to be pretty tough.
It's going to be tough. Gilbert, when he was alive, he would only keep heifers back every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then that basically, then you're able to keep your bull a lot longer.
Yeah.
Without breeding back to his own daughters. So yeah, it does get a little bit tricky with smaller herd sizes. We run into the same thing with goats. I mean, we had what was his name? The little black goat, the
Pip,
and then when we had to send him off to Minnesota, and then here comes another boy, and that's Tallow is in there now, hopefully doing something. I don't know if anybody's watching the webcams, but apparently he's doing. I think Matt said he was doing something with one of the girls that supposedly makes more. So. Yeah, we run into the same problem. So a goat that we can send to Minnesota to breed more goats and bring back a different goat, or however we work it out. you can't. The bulls are a lot more expensive when you're talking $3,000 or $4,000 per bull. So being able to keep them here a little bit longer will make sense in the long run.
Yeah. Well, and we have like a target, breeding size that we're shooting for and stuff. And so like, obviously there'll come a point where it's like, yeah, we have enough cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
When we do get rid of doof, what is the plan? Are we going to jerky doof? Or are you going to?
I don't know. I think.
Burgers?
I think what we'll do is we'll probably have him semen tested, and then we'll see if we can sell him as a breeding bull, or if he fails a semen test, we can either jerky him or like summer sausage him or something. So
summer sausage is going to be a new thing. That's
number 10 is going to be made into summer sausage. So that'll be a new product that we'll have. So
yeah, I like. We had a chance to try some of their summer sausage that Sturgis, who does our processing, makes, and it's actually really good. So if you like summer sausage, here before too long.
Yeah, I don't have a processing date yet.
Yeah, it'll be a little while, but we will have some summer sausage available. So Jared is just my code name because you cannot change your name anymore because YouTube got mad at you. Can you buy ear tags made of the same reflective materials as military uniform patches that show up super bright on your new binoculars, night vision, infrared? Probably could. We use something called cal tags, and they're the ones that are made. I think you can get reflective tags through them, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. Good point.
They're great tags. Cool. I mean, we're getting close to running out.
Yeah.
But man, they were great tags. They hold up really well. Awesome. They don't fade. Like, they've got really great UV protection.
They've got numbers on the front and on the back, so you can see from behind what their numbers are.
Yep.
And the cal tags are pretty cool.
And we double ear tag. Like, rarely do we have a cow that comes in with no tags.
You say that, but I had one come in today that had no tags. But she was a heifer, so she lost her yellow tag. Luckily, we had the little RFID tag, and I was able to just pull up her number on the computer, and boom, there she was.
Yeah, and now since we're RFIDing, like, nobody's ever going to be like, who is that?
Yeah, we can figure it out pretty dang quick. Have you ever thought about artificial insemination? Yep, we did just about 5 minutes ago. We talked about the fact that we were tossing it around. Finding somebody to do it up here is kind of the hard part. So.
There's no vets that do it, and so I know I've seen people that travel that do it, but we just didn't get on anybody's schedule, and so we could AI at some point, and that would, but you still have to have a cleanup bowl.
Yeah, so, it's not a 100% thing. I think
it's hard when we're only doing like 12 or 13.
Yeah. With the reduced herd size, it's a little bit difficult. And I think the AI rate is like 80% or something like that. So you still have to have a cleanup bowl and, do something with that. So
yeah,
it's not a bad idea, especially for genetics. It's something that,
and we really wanted to this year. Like, we wanted to try AI and just see like what that looked like. And it just didn't work out. So we just have to find somebody that can come and do it.
Yeah, exactly. Feather Life asks if the ranch ever has any problem with feral dogs. No, not so much. It's been a while since we've had a dog.
But not like feral dogs.
No, just like a stray dog.
Yeah.
Or somebody's, there's subdivisions around us that are close by. So, they'll, sometimes we'll get a dog that's out here running around and you got to go, grab it and that kind of thing. So it's just something we deal with occasionally, but not very often.
Can you make a reservation with Sunny Farms for a bull next year? Yeah, we can. And their bulls are great, but there's a million other bull breeders in this country too.
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone wants us to buy a bull from Sunny Farms. And like, it's just like, there's so many bulls available. There's bulls, like bull breeders here in Campbell County.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with Sunny Farms bulls. Their bulls are great, but there's lots of opportunities out there for us to purchase bulls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In fact, even I talked to Brian about it, and we tried figuring out a way that we could share a bull or something, or he could loan us a bull, but it just didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Yeah. Clean up bull sounds like a good T-shirt to wear at a country bar at closing time. Yeah, probably. One of our kids is here. Because that MG that you guys see, that's actually...
Oh, hey, that's your face.
Yeah, it's my face. It's
Mackenzie, what are you doing?
Mackenzie logging in to say hi. So... Matt A. asked if there's an Wyoming Life playlist of all the music in the videos. Not all the music, but there is somebody put a playlist on Spotify that's Wyoming Life. People add to it. So, like, I start it, and then people can add to it, and they can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. So... There is an Our Wyoming Life playlist on Spotify, I think, if you search for it. So I'm pretty sure it's still there.
Oh, it's Grace. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace. Poor timing for my comment. You're fine. You're good. So you are planting. You're like always planting, number one, because you do this succession planting thing.
Yeah.
But you're planting this week or next week, I guess, in the squash garden.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Next week or this week. It depends on where you start your week.
Tomorrow.
You start your week on Monday. I could just say tomorrow. In the squash garden. Now, obviously, that poses a few interesting challenges. Squash.
What about it?
You're planting, and people want to know what you're planting and how you're planting.
I don't understand
it.
what challenges.
Just
ask your question.
I don't really have a question. I want you to talk about what you're doing tomorrow.
You're trying to lead me in somewhere that I don't know where you're going.
I don't know where you're going. I don't know where I'm going either. Tomorrow, Erin. Actually, it's kind of all hands on deck. We're planting the squash garden tomorrow, which involves drip and what's that stuff called?
Landscape fabric.
Landscape fabric, and of course plants, burning holes.
Yeah.
That garden is 100 by 100. Can you get a piece of landscape fabric just 100 feet by 100 feet?
No.
You can't. So it's done in like 3-foot strips?
No, it's 5 foot.
5-foot strips, okay.
Grace thinks you should do a poll.
A poll on what? Yeah, what should we do a poll about?
Yeah, so I have landscape fabric that's 5 foot width, and then we have to, roll it out and cut it.
Yeah.
So we end up with weird pieces.
Okay, Grace wants to ask a question. What's your favorite animal on the ranch? Let me grab a keyboard here. Okay, what are our choices?
Bambi.
Bambi. Okay.
Ethel.
Ethel. All right. We've got Jenny, the emu.
Goats.
Who's your favorite goat?
We'll just put all the goats.
Well, I don't think we can have that many options. I think
No, just goats.
Oh, just goats in general? Okay. All right. So here's our options. We've got your favorite animal on the ranch: Bambi, Ethel, Jenny, or all the goats. I can't add any more. You only get 4.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. We're going to throw this poll up. This one's just for Grace to take a look at, and of course Jeff chooses Waffle. They've got a weird relationship, Jeff and Waffle.
Waffle's gotten so sweet, though.
Oh, he's so attached to Jeff. Beans could be on there. Turkeys. Grace says bean. You need to put bean. This morning we did a tour, and Jeff got down on it, kind of sat down a little bit, and Waffle just came up and just cuddled with him and just wanted to hang out.
I was cleaning out their feeder one day, so I squatted down, and he just jumped on my legs and just wants cuddles.
To be close. Yeah.
Sherrod bought a 0 turn, blame it on you, the best mowing a lot of land. Yeah, did you clean off the deck on our...
I haven't gotten there yet. No, it's kind of a busy
Spent some time mowing today, too, and we've had so much rain. The grass is so wet that there's so much buildup underneath the deck of the lawnmower that when the blades, I could hear it hitting, and it was clog. It's a disaster. So...
There's always something. Let's see who's winning right now. Bambi is actually... Oh, hold on. I almost ended the poll. Bambi's far in the lead.
Ethel.
Way ahead of Ethel, Jenny, and the goats.
What was going on at the pond Friday night? Toads. So we got 2 inches.
I kind of forgot about the camera. That's pretty funny.
Last night, too, you could have seen it. We got over 2 inches of rain Thursday night. We went to bed and we had 0.75, and we woke up in the morning and we were at 2 inches, and then it rained another 2/10 or something Friday morning. And so all the toads came out of hibernation. We've talked about this before, how when we get rain at the right time, then we'll have toads. And so the kids have been out hunting for toads.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah, now catching them and petting them. They have pet toads. It's the same one every night that comes right up to us. So, so if you're watching the webcam and you see weird lights and stuff out there,
you can see
the big problem is that Bean goes out with them, because for protection. And
not for protection.
That's what Lincoln told me. She's protecting us.
From what?
I don't know. Apparently the big scary frogs. But then she goes swimming and she rolls in poop and then she gets a bath. You know, that's kind of how it works.
She was
but
so
she does
bad.
have fun.
So stinky last night. And she's got something crusty still
I know
on
we
her
probably need to do another bath tonight. So, what happened with the goat house that was built during the 30 and 30? It's actually in the petting zoo.
Yeah.
The goats can play on it. They run up and down. I'll have to make a short or something. And, you know, you kind of have to coax them to go up. They're not big on sitting up on the top yet. But not all of the goats have been in the petting zoo because we're doing this rotation thing right now.
Well, they're all in there, just not together.
Right, not together. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just we rotate them in and out because there's so much grass in there right now. So, Bean probably eats 15 toads.
I wonder.
I haven't smelled her breath. She was out the other day. She went with me to check cows, and she started out in the gator, and then she wanted to get out and run, and she managed to corner a prairie dog. And I mean, they were fighting. I mean, she was rolling it, and it was coming back at her and clawing at her. Not really clawing at her, but like doing this weird hissing thing. And eventually, it got away and went down a hole. But I thought for sure she was. But she never did like grab it and like bite it or chew. She's just playing with it. So who knows?
Grace says there's toads in the duck pond too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a dead one in a puddle too.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
did
I
you not
didn't
see
see
the dead one in
No,
the
I
puddle?
didn't
Yeah,
see
there
it.
was. I was fishing earthworms out of the shop and throwing them back. There was
all this
a
crazy stuff.
Yeah,
we
there
get
was
rain
a
and all this stuff shows up.
there
around
was
here.
a salamander by the high tunnel that Carrie thought it was a snake. Yeah, I mean, just we don't get 2 inches of rain at a time. That's a super abnormal thing for us, and so yeah, it totally changes like the landscape temporarily. So
Yeah.
we'll see how long we have toads.
Our 6-month-old puppy learned that last week that toads don't taste so good. Kelly, that's somebody needs to tell Bean
Have
that.
you checked Turtle Bridge?
No, because I know. So here's the interesting thing about checking cows right now. We've got Bambi and number 80 that we're waiting to have calves. So I drive out, I find those two, look at them. Everybody else is fine. It's right. It takes
How do you know they're fine?
well, because I drive through them all. Nobody's really separated off. They're all really kind of in a herd. So just those two, just waiting for them. What does your shirt say?
Life's better in the country.
There you go. Can you get that on our website?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Somebody asked what your shirt said. They liked the color.
No, they asked what your shirt said.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, they didn't. It said Erin. Erin, what does your shirt say? I like the color.
Oh.
See?
Well, somebody said what happens on the ranch stays on the ranch.
Yeah. This one you can't buy. This is a.
Well, we could make that.
We could make that.
Oh, Grace checked for turtles. When were you checking for turtles?
She went out to Turtle Bridge. Did you go? Well, we'll talk about that later. Matt,
She hasn't been out in the gator for a while.
Jeff checked Turtle Bridge yesterday.
Right.
I think it's got to get a little bit warmer, or there's no turtles left there because we had a
Drought.
great turtle massacre a few years ago.
What ate the turtles?
I'm guessing eagles or hawks or something. I went through Turtle Bridge just 3 or 4 years ago, and just shells everywhere.
So
it was so
bad.
weird, like just turtle shells all over the place.
Yucky.
Yeah, it was odd. Did that 2 inches of rain perk up the hay? The hay looks really good. Jeff and I took the heifers and the bulls down to the heifer pasture today, or the bull. And one of the comments Jeff said when we drove by a couple of hay fields, he's like, "That's about as tall as it was when we cut it last year." It's
Yeah, man,
really
we've been
coming up.
mowing at home like crazy. Like, I mowed around the gardens last week, and like what I mowed last week, I didn't have to mow, but I mowed some stuff that Carrie had mowed, and I had mowed a few weeks ago, and you couldn't tell that I had mowed it. There's no turtles in the duck pond. Well, there's one last year. Maybe he'll come back. Yeah, it's been like we haven't had a ton of rain. Like, we're not like above average or anything on moisture. Like, we're not setting record rain totals or anything. But and we were almost like borderline like things are gonna get dry if we didn't get some rain. And so like we've had rain at the right timing. Do you hope for 3 cuts of hay this year? No, we will never get even 2 cuts. We are 1 cut and done. So it's I think it's going to be a good hay year. Like, I'd say we'll have hay. Like, we kind of get to a point where it's like, maybe not. And, yeah, I'd say we're a go for haying, unless we get hailed out or something.
Yeah, that could still happen, but
Yeah.
we're gonna think positively.
I think we're going to have hay.
Julie asked if we have badgers. We do. I have not seen one yet this year, though. I did see a couple big holes. I think they're probably badger holes. I haven't seen one yet. We'll usually run into 2 or 3 a year. Remember that time we were in the shop and the badger walked in the shop? Just like, what are you guys doing? And it was just like, I thought it was a cat at first. It was a badger. And he looked at us, and we looked at him, and he took off running, and I grabbed my rifle. And the hunt was on. He got away from me, though. So.
Well, he ran towards the highway.
Yeah, he did. Don't shoot towards the highway.
No. No, we don't want anybody to send us turtles. We're fine.
Send you turtles. How about doing a garden tour? That's for Mark.
Oh, there's lots of weeds right now.
You want to take a camera out and do one?
The plants are, like, the carrots are this big.
Yeah, but they'll be huge before you know it. It's already June. I mean, that's the crazy part. I don't feel like it should be June
Yeah,
already.
already June.
It's like summer's just going to fly by.
Don't have a garden planted.
Ever hear of Transylvanian bare-necked chickens?
I've heard of turkins.
Yeah, turkins. Yeah, we had one of those for a while. I wonder whatever happened to that.
Something ate it.
Something I ate it. Pivots, no irrigation here whatsoever. We're all dependent on...
We're dryland farmers.
We're dryland farmers, yeah. Pretty much it. Scrolling back, guys, just making sure I didn't miss anything. In-N-Out Burger. Russ asked if we're concerned when a cow goes past her expected calving time. Not so much, because first of all, when they give us a due date, it's not an exact science. In fact, a lot of our due dates were actually before we even put the bulls in. So it was kind of a little, you know, it's not a guess, I won't say, because I mean, they are using measurements and that kind of stuff. But when they go beyond it, not too worried about it. Number 2 had her calf already, and she wasn't due until like June 16th by the numbers. So
it's totally, like, I mean, it's a guesstimation. It's, you know, when the vet shows up to prick check, when did you put the bulls in? When did you take the bulls out? You know, it's kind of a, all right, well, nothing should be, you know, 75 days or, you know, and they're just like, they're giving us like 100 days, 110 days. And that's gestation age, right? And they're measuring skull size? Is that what they measure?
It depends. They'll
what
measure,
they can see.
Yeah, they'll measure whatever they can see. So sometimes they may not be able to see as much. They can measure the size of the leg bones. They can do the width of the hips, I think, if I remember right. And of course the skull, you know, there's all kinds of different ways to do it.
But it's obviously, you know, a fetus that's moving on an ultrasound inside of a cow that's moving. So... yeah, it's very much an estimation. And so, like, what really, like, when they say, like, when they give us, like, due dates, it's basically kind of almost like, these ones are going to go first, and here's your late ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's kind of all that we're...
Here's a general look at how calving is going to happen. Yeah. So, but yeah, she could go anytime, honestly. I think when I look at her and number 80 next to each other, 80 looks farther along than Bambi does. Her bag is filling up. She's possibly getting ready to do something. Michael asked if Bambi's calf will be weaned at the same time as the other calves. Yeah, because you can wean a calf at about 60 days if you really want to. The bottle calves, they're already eating grass. They're eating pellets. We could technically probably wean them. We still have them on a bottle, mostly for the tour. People come through, they like feeding the cows bottles. So.
And they like their bottles.
They love their bottles.
Brutus likes his baba and his chin scratches.
Exactly.
And he likes to harass Jeff.
Does he really likes Jeff. Tan lines.
Do you have a tan line?
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, no, we both do. Woo!
Yeah. It doesn't take long, really. What's the goal for number of cows you want on the ranch in the future?
75 to 100.
Yeah.
It depends on you guys. Depends on how much meat we can sell.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if we don't have a market for our animals, it doesn't matter how many animals we have.
If we didn't have a market for our animals, we'd kind of be up the creek.
Right.
We'd be up the creek without a paddle because we've banked a lot on people wanting to buy beef and pork online. So,
Yeah.
Rancher Life is not from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's from 5 a.m. to 9. It's dated. Well, it's daylight to dark pretty much. Sometimes longer.
Will you breed Bambi and the other cow later than theirs? Nope. They'll get exposed at the same time, and so they'll cycle. They should potentially cycle back pretty quickly, actually. And so, sometimes your last calver can be one of your first.
Yeah.
Not always.
It was interesting this year, and I was thinking about this the other day because Bambi wasn't pregnant the year before this one.
Yeah. What was she doing?
She didn't have a calf. So this year, her being one of the last calves, I don't know, or last ones to calve, I don't know what she was doing. If she just was running away from the bull every time he got near her, I'm not sure what was going on there.
She was out lollygagging like, haha, you can't catch me.
Well, and it could actually be an indication that she has something else going on, where she's not able to get pregnant, or it's harder for her to get pregnant. Not that anything's going to happen to her, so don't worry about that. Nobody's going to be having Bambi jerky or anything. But it is something that's in the back of my mind saying, okay, well, if she's not able to get pregnant, what does happen to Bambi? Does Bambi go in the petting zoo?
Oh no, she's too big. She's dangerous.
She would sit on somebody.
Yeah, and we've had Bambi's always, because she's so memorable, like she has been a late calver before, and then she's been our first.
Yeah.
So she's all over the place all the time. So yeah, she's not a super consistent breeder. So that's not great.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at our poll and close things down here. 62% say that Bambi is their favorite animal on the ranch. 26% Ethel, 6% Jenny, who's the emu, and 7% vote for the goats. So there you go. There are your poll results, guys. Not surprising at all. Not in the least. So Bambi's been on the channel the longest.
Well, a lot of people like Cracker Jack and stuff too.
Yeah, if we had more than 4 options, we could just keep this going the whole time.
There'd be so many.
How many swine each year is the owl ideal? That's the other thing.
Again, as many as we can sell.
Yeah, we sold out of bacon really fast.
Yeah, we processed 16 so far. We've got 10 that are getting close to weight, another 15 that will hopefully be done before the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it's dependent upon how much we can sell.
Yep.
That's all it's about, guys. It's about how much product we can move and how much we can cash flow, right? Because, like, grain and processing is expensive. Like, we just had 6 steers processed. Our processing bill was $6,500. And then we got to bring it home, and we got to buy the liners and the dry ice and the boxes and, and then sell it.
Yeah.
So it's all about cash flow, and it's about how much product is moving out the door.
Exactly.
So.
Birdhouse Hippie, how many inches of precipitation this past winter will you be baling this year? We'll be making hay. I think we'll be making hay this year. So far this year, we've had 5 inches, a little bit over 5 inches of, or no, is it 5 or 4 something?
We've had 4 inches of rain.
4 inches of rain. We did get a lot of snow, and it equated to a lot of moisture. Unfortunately, a lot of that, because the ground is frozen, just kind of runs into the reservoirs and stuff like that. So the 4 or 5 inches of rain that we've had so far this year.
I'm checking to see what
what is the total?
Our year to date is 4.41 inches of liquid precipitation.
Right, and 2 of it was the other day.
2.15 or 2.2 or something was on Thursday.
Some ridiculous amount.
Will there ever be chicken for sale? No, not unless there's a USDA processor that does chicken.
Yep. Michael said that's the most questions I've asked in 4 to 5 years of watching. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot with the whole lurker thing in the beginning. I feel bad. Thank you very much. Chicken, yeah, that doesn't happen unless it can be USDA inspected.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. We do care about our animals. It's one of the things we talk about in the tour every single day. People, occasionally they'll ask me, why do you name your animals if you're just going to eat them? And it's very much like, I think it's more of a respect to the animal than anything. So, sorry, Michael, listener, names. My bad. Yeah, I mean, it is, every animal on the ranch has one bad day. If we can make their day better by giving them a name, fine. I'm fine with that.
They don't all have names, though.
No, gosh, no. That would be horrible. Mostly because it's just hard to, memorize.
And Carrie's named
name.
all the cats, and she said one the other day. I just like...
Who?
Who is that? I don't know which one that is. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of cows that will always just be number 10, or number 80.
Yeah.
But, with bulls and stuff, like, obviously there's not very many of them and stuff, and so they can get named. Pigs never get named, ever. Like...
No, well, because you can't tell the difference.
Can't tell the difference.
It's just, I mean, I think the kids actually at one point, might have been Grace, came up with the idea to just name them all one name. So like all of this group of pig, they're Harold. Like they're all Harold. It doesn't matter which one it is. They're just all Harold. So is there a plan B where the direct-to-consumer sales slow down?
Direct-to-consumer sales will just shift. And so, like, if we quit making social media content or slow down on social media, we'll just have to change how we market our product.
Yeah.
You guys as a customer base are probably not ever going to completely go away. We would just have to change how we communicate with you guys and how we get new customers. So, because we've been doing a direct-to-consumer, for 10 plus years, it's only become available to you guys in the last couple, but we've been selling beef and produce. I mean, we've been selling produce since 2010. We've been part of our ranch has been direct to consumer for 13 years. So we'll just change how we market it.
Yeah, exactly. So. Let's see.
Dava Morales said we had owl T-bones tonight for dinner. Best steaks we've ever had. Thank you very much.
Very much so. Do you carry over leftover hay? We do have hay from last year. We actually knew what we needed to bale. If you remember, during haying season last year, we just cut until we had baled enough hay that we knew how much we were going to need. Obviously, we're still feeding hay throughout the summer because we have the cows in the feedlot and we've kind of got cows all over the place. But we are still feeding hay throughout the entire summer. So that stuff that's in the hay yard now will continue to feed. And, it goes to pigs, it goes to cows, it goes to the feedlot.
Yeah, we never quit feeding hay. Like we used to, right? When
I remember the day where it'd be like, this is the last day I have to feed hay, and I don't have to feed hay until November or October.
We feed hay all the time. Because, you're mixing it into the grain. The feedlot always has access to hay. B&a-half team has hay.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We finally kicked all the heifers out. But, we're always feeding hay. The goats get hay. The pigs always have a bale of hay. They don't need hay very often, but the pigs always have a bale of hay.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. This is from Jared. I name every animal I eat. I have a porterhouse this afternoon I ate with my bare hands like a chicken wing. Gustavo. Very cute.
Very cute. You just called them cute.
Well, Grace wants another poll. What could we do for a poll? Do you have any ideas? Oh, I got an idea. This will be fun because I think this one, a lot of people is. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is though. So, do I have to put question marks here? What's the other options?
Well, if I say it, you'll.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's one more.
You type it. Oh, yeah. There we go. All right, you ready for this, Grace? This one's going to blow your mind. All right, here we go. Whoa, what did I just do? Okay, thought I exploded the thing. All right, we got another poll up for you guys. What do you call it? Is it pop? Is it cola? Is it soda? Or is it just a regular old Coke? I don't know if Grace knows that there's a difference. And depending on where you are.
Well, we call it pop or soda.
Yeah, I call it pop. I've always called it pop.
I call it soda sometimes.
But it depends where you're at in the U.S. or even in the world, what you call the sugar carbonated beverage that you may like or dislike. So
William brought up the fact that now it's even simple medications like LA-200 you have to get a prescription for. Do you want to discuss?
Honestly, it doesn't bother me a whole lot just because we have great vets that we work with. So if I need something, I can get it. I think, honestly, it may actually help people because you're going to need to have some of that stuff on hand too, right?
So, and we're also, like, their LA-200 and penicillin they are effective antibiotics, but I think that there are better antibiotics too. So, like, we use Exceed a lot. We use Banamine a lot. But, like, and the LA-200 is very good for certain things and stuff, and penicillin is good for certain things also, right? But, like, Gilbert used to just throw LA-200 at everything.
Oh, yeah,
and that's not always the best course of action, right? So, like, maybe actually I get it that vet care is very hard. And, like, we've struggled with it too, right? Like, there are times when we need a vet out here and we can't get a vet out here. But actually, like, if you're having a reoccurring problem, like, we treat the same things almost year after year. Sometimes stuff throws us for a loop and it's new and stuff. But, like, for the most part, like, if we see this problem, we know to give this one, right? And so there's better antibiotics than LA-200 and penicillin. There are things that are very specific that those are the best option for, but, like, Exceed is an amazing antibiotic, and it's a longer, like, you don't have to give it every single day like you do with LA-200 and stuff. And so...
And to tell you the truth, like, I know people are worried about the cost of vet care, and if I have to get a prescription, that's going to cost me money. Yeah. I call the vet and I'm like, hey, here's my symptoms. Yeah. What can you prescribe me? I don't get charged for that.
Well, and, like, we get antibiotics through FBN, right? And so they have to verify with, like, your local vet and stuff. And so, like, we got Exceed through FBN because it's the best price, but it has, like, our local vet on it. So, like, because you're just gonna have to develop a relationship with a vet, which I understand is hard, and in some people that's really impossible. But that's what you're gonna have to do, is develop a relationship with a vet. And walking into the local feed store and buying the shelf of antibiotics is, I believe personally, is not always the best for your animal. So
it's really easy to undertreat or overtreat.
And just treat wrong, right? Like, antibiotics treat different things, right? So, like, if you have a respiratory illness, you need to treat for you need to use an antibiotic that targets respiratory illnesses.
Yeah, and we're all guilty of it. I mean, I've been guilty of it where we use Banamine a lot of times, and Banamine is really good for swelling. So if you have a calf that goes through a hard birth, their tongue is swollen, Banamine, boom, it'll take care of that. We had the calf that had knuckled under, and I think it was Brutus, or maybe it might have been Meathead. Or Blockhead, but either way, knuckled under. And my first instinct was to give it Banamine because that I figured that will reduce swelling and then the legs will straighten back out. Talked to a vet and they just said no, give it LA-200 because LA-200 actually loosens ligaments, and which I didn't know. So that was if I hadn't talked to my vet about that, I could have mistreated that and then done more damage than good.
And not done any good and like a lot of the stuff that we use. We've had to have a prescription for years, and having to have a prescription has never hindered us from treating an animal.
No.
So it's a scare tactic, and it's going to be difficult, right? Like, it's going to make it really hard for some people who don't have a large animal vet, not, dismissing that side of it. But we've never not had antibiotics because you had to have a prescription.
Right. And if you have a vet that's going to be like, well, I can't give you that because, for whatever reason, why are they a vet?
We don't just buy one dose of Exceed. We buy however big of a bottle of Exceed we want to buy.
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
And Exceed is expensive.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's $1 a cc basically, but.
But 9 times out of 10, it treats your illness.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
If humans are stockpiling antibiotics, whatever. I don't know. I mean. There's probably, it's like anything, there's probably conspiracy theories and everything else that go along with it. But I've never, if it's 10:30 at night and you need penicillin because you have a cow or a calf that's sick or something like that, you should have it on hand.
Like, we've literally bought one bottle of penicillin in like 10 plus years.
Yeah, I know. I always buy the big one. And it's not expensive. So you buy this big giant jug of penicillin and then you look at it 3 years later and you're like, oh,
it's totally expired.
That's expired or it's all separated and nasty. And, just buy the smaller bottles.
Yeah. Well, some people Some
if you
people
treat
use
a
more
lot.
penicillin.
Yeah, exactly. So, Steve said the picture behind you would make a great T-shirt. Yeah, I kind of wish they had our cow numbers on them. That would be cool.
Well, you could go like take a picture of our cows.
Yeah, and put Bambi and put, Cracker Jack. We'd make a bigger Cracker Jack would be on the extra large shirt. Do cows get mastitis? All the time. All the time.
Not all the time.
We deal with it almost every year.
Well, like one.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah, it totally happens. Of course, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at our poll here. 41% pop, 2% cola. I thought that would be higher. 22%
Who calls
Coke.
it cola? No one.
Apparently 2%. And soda at 34, close second there. So very cool. Thank you for the ideas for the poll there, Grace. If she's still here, she probably gave up on us. She's moving on.
Will you scroll up for 1 second?
Sure. How far?
Oh, that's good. You're good.
Okay.
You can
You
scroll
just had
back
to read something?
Yep.
All right. We're getting ready to wrap things up, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them up there. Coming up on the channel, you're going to see some pretty interesting things. First of all, Monday's video, we've got a new bull. His name is Max. You're going to get introduced to him as we get the heifers ready for breeding and him ready for breeding as well. Also on the way, we've got a new video coming up with the Hustler feeder. We're going to take our old Hustler in and trade it in on a new one. We're going to see what else is available. Maybe we'll trade up a little bit, get a little bit bigger one.
We don't need a bigger one.
We don't need a bigger. Maybe we'll figure something out. Also, we have a cow out there that has an abscess on her face. I'm going to be dealing with that in the next few days. That will make it an interesting video.
That might be good for penicillin.
Yeah, she's going to get some shots, trust me. But she has an abscess on her face that needs to be lanced and dealt with, and I'm really not looking forward to it, and I know Jeff's not looking forward to it, but we'll bring that to you guys as well. So we've got lots of cool stuff on the way.
You can't stockpile some antibiotics because they need refrigeration. Well, we got refrigerators.
True.
They all have a shelf life too. Like, it's not beneficial to stockpile stuff beyond what you're going to use.
Yeah, I mean, it goes bad over
Yeah.
time. So yeah.
When's the next chicken processing video coming out? Never.
Yeah.
We don't have any meat chickens.
I like to give my cows and calves I'm guessing multi-min.
Cows and calves. I think. Did you say cats?
Calves.
You said
Cows and
cats.
calves.
Don't give your cats
Don't give your cat
multi-min.
anything, really. Can't believe you need a prescription for it. I was kind of surprised on that too for multi-min that you needed a prescription for.
Because you can OD them.
But you can definitely, yeah. So one of the things with multi-min is if you, for example, let's say and this happened today, you go to you're bringing your heifers in, you're giving them multi-min, and you think you gave one a shot of multi-min, but you're not exactly sure. You can't remember in your brain, right? Because something else happened, and you're going, oh crap, I need to, don't give it another shot, because you can actually kill them with an overdose. So it's usually a selenium overdose, I think, if I remember right.
All of it. Like, it's all bad. Like, vitamins and stuff can be toxic if they're in too high of.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing as with, anything else. Like, 800 milligrams of Motrin is pretty good. 1600's got to be great, right? No, probably not a good idea.
No.
So, yeah.
Same thing with antibiotics, right? Like, learn your antibiotics, learn what they treat, like, learn when to administer them, how to administer them. It's just like education, right? And like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I get it that people are making it more difficult for the ones that like don't abuse antibiotics, but like, we have 100%, we have given the wrong antibiotic at the wrong time.
Right. Mary Andrews said she thinks it's aimed at trying to push out the small local producers. I don't think so. Small local producers have access to vets just like everybody else.
Yeah, we're literally the definition of small local producer, and I don't literally do not care that we have to have a prescription for penicillin. Like, I'll just get a prescription for penicillin.
Yeah.
It is not a big deal.
There's a lot of, like antibiotic misuse that goes on in the industry.
Yeah.
Where you just give everything antibiotics and then everything's healthy, at least until it goes to slaughter. And, antibiotics do have a withdrawal time, 28 days, I think is what it is for most antibiotics. But, there can be things that happen with that, and everybody always hears about all that kind of stuff too. So definitely tricky. Mark the cow calf with a crayon when you could do that. We actually, Jeff and I can't remember what Jeff and I were doing. We were obviously working heifers today, and there was one. It was like, did I give that one a shot or did you give that one a shot? Well, I didn't do it. Did you do it? And it's like, oh crap. Well, we're just not going to get multi.
Right.
We're not going to risk that.
Or you miss, right? Like, or sometimes is multi-min sub-Q.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll poke through the other side, and so you're squirt it, and it comes flying out.
Yeah.
So
you just basically pierce the cow.
Yeah. But some of it probably got in, right? And so now you don't know how much of a dose.
Yeah.
Like that's happened. Our needle's gotten bent. That's the kind of stuff that you're talking about more so than.
And especially with calves, this is where it really happens a lot with calves, is where people will give a calf a shot of multi-min and see it doing better, and they'll go, oh, I'll give it more the next day, and all of it goes downhill. JB, thank you for the $20 super chat. Really do appreciate it. Becky ordered a box of ground beef, T-bones, and ribeyes. Had them sent to my daughter's house in Texas. We're taking them on vacation this week. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Jared has a good point. Yeah, things that are toxic: water, oxygen, beer. It's toast that matters for sure. Let's see. Yeah, be sure to hit that like button if you like what you see, guys. We really do appreciate it. We are going to hang things up. We got the kids to get in dinner and all that kind of gives the regular life on the ranch. Apparently, I have to go clean out a lawnmower or something. So we got cows to check.
The poor blades are not able to turn. There's so much.
I know the poor blades are just like, oh, it's too hard. There's too much stuff in here.
So much stuff.
You worked me too hard.
The grass is too wet.
Exactly. Alex, I got your email this week. Thank you very much for that. I will get back to you. It's been kind of a busy week this week, so I will get back to you here at some point. And a lot of stuff still coming up on the channel. Of course, haying once again. We've got. Maybe we'll get in the gardens with Erin. Maybe I have an idea during haying that maybe I have a way to convince Erin to do a cooking video so that we can tie that in with haying.
I don't cook in the summertime.
Okay. McDonald's will cook. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get Grace to cook. How about that? We'll get Grace to do a cooking video. She's a great cook.
She's eating chips.
Oh, well, okay then. Thank you very much once again for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, follow along as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. Not only on the Wyoming Life channel, but this channel as well. We're up over 12,000 subscribers
that's great.
On Beyond the Ranch, and that's amazing. We just kind of come and hang out here every once in a while. Be sure to subscribe though, so you do get notifications when we do have live streams. And if you're a Patreon supporter, we have a Patreon exclusive live stream that happens once a month here on the channel as well. So we got to get Erin to bed. She's got to get up early and put down landscape fabric. I'm learning stuff.
You already knew that.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.